Hi guys, it's Carl here. So I'm going to talk about the five most common struggles that estranged people have over Christmas, or people who have a difficult or confrontational relationship with their family. This is predominantly clinical experience, working with my clients, but there's also a lot of personal experience with this as well. But if you were to look at the research around estrangement, you'll find stories of these challenges littered across the whole literature. So, number one is guilt and shame, and the whole range of reasons why people experience guilt and shame around this time. It's often in relation to seeing other people having a better relationship with their family than they do, and as a result, they feel bad about themselves. They feel like they're not meeting up to society's expectations or other people's expectations of them. They may also have a great deal of guilt and shame in terms of how the estrangement is impacting other people in the family, particularly if there's children involved. As a result of kids being caught up in the crossfires between different adults, there could be a great deal of guilt around that. But there's also an element of repressed emotions. A lot of people are very angry with their family. And that anger is often very valid because they've been mistreated in the family, but they've bottled it up, they kept it in. And as a result, they start to feel incredibly bad about themselves. They may feel a great deal of deeper shame for even being angry at the first place, because many people feel like it's wrong to have these feelings towards their family, even though those feelings are relative to their family history. The second thing is chronic indecision, because it's around this time of year people do have to make decisions about, do I reach out to family? Do I not reach out to them? Do I send them a card? Do I not send a card? Do I not send a present? Do I tell others of the situation is another source of indecision as well. And around this time, there could be people asking questions around, are you going to see family over Christmas? Are you going to visit? Or maybe other questions that might come in relation to family over this time of year. And people just don't know how to respond. And often people are not comfortable with lying either. My preference with my own clients is just to deflect the question. We often do some work around scripting so they can prepare default responses in the event that they are put on the spot with a question like that. But needless to say, there's a great deal of indecision around this period. Um, Number three is loneliness and limited choices in terms of where to spend Christmas. Now, these are two different things, and I grouped them together because they really influence each other. Because, some people don't have any support whatsoever, and they actually have nowhere to go for Christmas. They're not invited anywhere, and you'd be surprised at how common this is. And this is influenced by a lot of different things, particularly someone's age and their status in life. If someone may not be in a relationship, and maybe all their friends are in relationships and settled down, and they may be spending holiday periods with their own family. This person might not have gotten an invite, and they genuinely have nowhere to go, so they don't have those choices. But in other cases, because of the pain that comes with this really damaged attachment with family, some people just feel completely isolated and alone within themselves. So they could be surrounded by people that love them and really care for them and want them to be happy, but they don't feel that love, they don't feel that support because their pain is so deep. And that's another reality that is really common. And people are often left with a sense of hopelessness and with no purpose because of this pain that they carry. And that may then carry forward into the new year. Um, Number four is hypervigilance, and this basically means that they're in an anxious state, they're prepared, they're anticipating something bad's going to happen. And that could be in relation to potentially meeting up a family over Christmas. They may be in relation to what might happen if that exchange happens. If they do meet up a family, if there's past conflict, past issues, they may reappear over this home visit. But it may also be in relation to should they exchange messages with family, should they not? Maybe they're anticipating negative exchanges from family via text message or cards or letters or any type of exchange. It may also be in relation to the difficult questions that I just mentioned. So the indecision could also be fueled by hypervigilance, or maybe hypervigilance is fueled by indecision. Then the last one is re-engaging with family and the actual reality of managing stressful home visits. And it could be, how do you manage difficult conversations with family? How do you respond? How do you set clear boundaries with family? How do you avoid conflict? How do you have an exit strategy? If the situation is quite difficult, how do you get out of there with the least amount of damage and the least amount of distress? But then also managing the fallout of a visit with family, because often the visit itself could be fine, but there could be negative consequences that come later on. And even if there's no negative consequences, and even if the visit is fine, because of the history of the family and the history of the relationship, it could be quite difficult for people just to process what happened, and they may feel quite depressed because even though the interaction was quite civil, the relationship isn't what it used to be. It isn't what they wished it was. And as a result of that estrangement, they become quite depressed and quite lonely, quite sad, which again fuels the shame that they might carry, fuels the loneliness that they might carry. So you can see these five challenges, they feed off each other, they influence each other, and in very powerful ways. But the type of challenges that each person faces will vary, obviously, because of the circumstances of their family history, the difficulties that they face, the type of interactions that they've had, if there's experiences of abuse there, the type of support a person has in their life now, and a lot of range of other reasons which influence the experience and the specific type of challenges that each person faces. Now, if you can relate to any of these, if any of these resonate with you, I have a clinic that's happening on the 14th of December, 8 p.m. Irish time, UK time, and I'll just give people an opportunity to share their experiences, share their challenges, and maybe I can help them and resource them in any way I can on that even. You're very welcome. Spaces are limited, so I would encourage people to sign up now. There's the link either in my bio or in the description below.